Hi everyone. Well, it's that time again. It's time to take the wraps off some new features we've added into ChromaScan and show you how to use them. In this quick tutorial, we're going to show you the two key new features in ChromaScan 1.4. In this version, we've added support for iCloud Drive. This means that we can now back up your photos as you scan, and these photos will be made available almost instantly to your desktop, Mac, or PC, where you can edit them with Photoshop or your favorite image editing application, and those changes will get pushed back down to your iPhone. The second key feature is something we call location aliasing. It allows you to batch import specific locations into ChromaScan, and then you can tag your photos with these locations through offline commands just by saying something like location 1 or location 2. This is great for when you have a bunch of photos from, say, a childhood home or some other specific location and you want to easily geotag these photos. Let's start with iCloud Photos. So here's my desktop, and I've got my iPhone 6 Plus mirrored to the right. Here's my iCloud Drive folder, which you'll see if you're running either Yosemite or El Capitan on your Mac. Windows users, don't fret. There's a version available for you too, and more on that later. As I dive into my iCloud Drive, I can see a folder for ChromaScan, which is empty right now. Let's jump into ChromaScan, and I'll show you the new iCloud changes. You get to the new iCloud settings by going to the Settings panel. I'm going to tap onto Cloud Sync and then slide the Cloud Storage rocker to the right until it's turned on. Now watch what happens when I go back to the gallery. Those screen refreshes are telling me that my existing photos are being moved to iCloud, and I should start seeing them in my iCloud Drive folder. Here we go. They're starting to come in now. Now notice that I've got a couple of photos here that were not cropped correctly when I scanned them. I'm going to use the new iCloud features to edit them on my Mac and then have those changes sent back to my phone. First, I'll open both of them in Photoshop, but you can use any image editing application you prefer. Here in Photoshop, I'm going to use the crop tool to straighten and crop this photo. I just use this tool to kind of even out the bottom of the photo and crop along the edges until it's straight. After I do, then I'll use an auto-leveling command to even out the color balance. Once I save the photo, iCloud will pick up my changes and move those changes to the cloud. ChromaScan then picks up that new version, and we should see them updated in the gallery almost in real time. I'm going to do exactly the same thing to the second photo. Just a quick straightening and crop followed by some image enhancement will give me just what I'm looking for. After I make these changes, I'm going to hide Photoshop so you can see what's going on in the Finder. There's a little progress bar under the image, and when it gets to the end, iCloud has the updated image. The ChromaScan app gets notified that there's been an updated image, and then after a few screen refreshes, we should get the updated image. There we go. Here are both of the images with the edits back in my gallery. Now for Windows users, Apple distributes a version of iCloud that you can install on Windows 7 or higher, and it integrates right into Windows Explorer. Once it's installed, I can go to the File Explorer, click on iCloud Drive, and then see my ChromaScan folder and use the images exactly the same way I do on my Mac. There's one important thing you need to know about iCloud support in ChromaScan. If you turn it off, it deletes all the photos from your cloud-based ChromaScan folder and moves them just to your phone, where you can get to them using iTunes file sharing. The opposite is also true. If you turn on iCloud support, the photos are no longer available to iTunes file sharing, but you can get to them using iCloud Drive. Now, personally, I think iCloud Drive is a much easier way to get to my photos, so I usually keep it turned on. When I do, all my photos move right back to the cloud and I can see them in my iCloud Drive. When I have iCloud Drive support turned on, if I delete an image from my iPhone using ChromaScan, it should also get deleted from iCloud Drive. Conversely, if I delete a photo from iCloud Drive, it should also be deleted from my ChromaScan gallery. So that's the new iCloud support in ChromaScan version 1.4. I think it's a great new way of editing your images after you've captured them with ChromaScan. Okay, now it's time to talk about location aliasing. By now you should know that ChromaScan can tag your photos with a location based on using the online voice recognition system. Here's an image that I tagged by giving the date and location of the Eiffel Tower in Paris, France. The online recognition system does a pretty good job in most cases, but there are times when you might want to add a very specific location, such as an address or another place that may not get recognized well. Starting with version 1.4, you can import a list of locations similar to how you import a text file with people names. And we can tag your photos with locations simply by saying an alias, such as location 1 or location 2. The way we do it is actually very simple. Get a text editor and type in some locations that you want to alias, 1 per line. Here's a list of 5 locations that I've typed in. You can put in physical addresses or landmarks, but be sure to add the city and country as well. Don't worry about capitalizations or commas or anything like that. Our geotagging engine will clean it all up after we find it. If you want to know if ChromaScan will be able to locate your photo and geotag it, just copy and paste the location into your map program. The one on your Mac and the one on your iPhone or iPad use exactly the same data. Now, you don't have to do this with most addresses, but it's a quick way of double-checking to see if we're going to be able to tag a location precisely. In this case, it's spot on. Now, when we're done, we're going to save this file as plain text, but instead of using the .txt at the end, we're going to end it with .qloc, which stands for ChromaScan location. Naming it this way will allow us to open it in ChromaScan and direct it to the locations panel. A quick word of warning if you're using a Mac. Don't use the built-in TextEdit app. It's not capable of saving plain text files. It defaults to rich text format, and that just won't work. Use an app that can do pure plain text. Okay, now that I'm done saving my QLoc file, I'm just going to drop it in as an attachment to my mail message and send it to an account that I can collect with my iPhone. Back on my iPhone, I'm going to open that message and tap and hold onto the attachment until I see a list of apps that I can open it with. I tap on ChromaScan, and then I get a chance to rename it if I want. Once saved, the whole list gets imported. Now, notice that each one of my locations gets assigned a number. This is important. Each number corresponds to a location, and you will need this number to tag your photos with this location later. If you go back to the Custom Places screen, you'll have the option of editing the location alias prefix. By default, you tag a location alias by saying the word location along with the number of the location you want to tag. However, you can edit and alter this prefix by using another word if you'd like. This could be useful if for some reason you can't get the word location to be consistently recognized. Back in the Custom Places panel, we also have a way to add location aliases one by one. It's just like adding individual people names. Just tap on the plus icon to add a single location. Okay, so I've got my QLoc file imported, and I'm all set to start using location aliasing. Let me scan an image so you can see how this works. First, I'm going to load my image along the back of the lightbox. Next, I'm going to tap onto the pink bar and give the date October 1st, 1974. Now, notice that something is different in version 1.4. With previous versions, if you didn't give the date and the location together, an error would be generated. With version 1.4, in order to support location aliasing, we allow you to give just the date. If you're not going to use location aliasing, however, you should still give the date followed by the location once you tap on the pink bar and go into online recognition mode. Now that I have the date of the photo established, I want to tag the photo with the 2 people that are in it and then use location aliasing to tag the location. If you recall from my QLoc list, the Eiffel Tower was assigned number 3, so I'm going to say location 3 to use it. Mary Smith, Susan Smith, location 3. That's it. Now let's go into the gallery to see the image that I just tagged. Okay, here's the image I just tagged using location aliasing, and you will notice that when we use my location data to resolve the Eiffel Tower, we also get the city, province, and country. If I look at this metadata on my Mac, you'll see that we also embedded the current location data to the file, including the longitude and latitude. We've also pulled in some other location metadata that will be useful later for when I try to find this image with my photo organization software. Okay, that's it for this update. We are working on new features for version 1.5. These 2 links are useful if you need to get back to where all of our tutorial videos are, and to visit our support site if you have any questions or need some help with anything. Happy scanning!